Hello there, welcome to TCM. I'm Alicia Malone, and tonight's programming is dedicated to a new TCM book called But Have You Read the Book? 52 literary gems that inspired our favorite films. And I'm so excited to have joining me now the author, Kristen Lopez. Hi, Kristen.
Hi, I am absolutely honored to be here.
We're thrilled to have you. You've always been such a great supporter of this channel, and now it's exciting that you have your own book. And this is a perfect book for people like me, who identifies as being both a film nerd and a book nerd. And I love the title, But Have You Read the Book? Can you tell us what inspired the book itself and also that title? Because I feel like I've said that to my friends.
Yeah, I love to know ahead of time what happens in a movie that's going to be based on a book. I can't wait the year or two that it takes to make a movie. And the title was something that I say a lot to my friends as well. Most people will watch a 2 hour movie, 2.5 hours, and go about their day. If you try to tell them, but have you read the book? There's so many additional themes and characters. Maybe people die that didn't die in the movie. You should read it. They'll be like, nah, not really, because it takes a more active audience to read a book that maybe is 5, 6, 700 pages. It's really frustrating to me because so much of a great movie that has been adapted is because of the source material. And to read some great works of literature that have inspired some of our favorite films is just an added way of getting into the movies that you already love.
I agree. And it's also really fun to imagine, who might play the characters as you're reading a book. If you can try to cast what your fantasy film version might look like. Is this something you do?
It is. Most of the time, I'll read a book that maybe has one or two people cast so that I can go in and know that, oh, maybe I wouldn't have cast that particular actor, or that actress is going to do really well with the source material. So I definitely fan cast all the time.
And speaking of a great cast of characters, our first film adaptation we're watching is from 1939. It's Wuthering Heights. It's an adaptation, of course, of the classic novel written by Emily Bronte. So there was a lot of conjecture about who was right for the characters of Heathcliff and Cathy. Here we have Laurence Olivier as Heathcliff, Mel Oberon as Cathy. What do you think about their casting?
I think the casting is just fantastic. I know that Laurence Olivier was not too happy with the casting. He really wanted Vivian Leigh to play Kathy, and the fact that she didn't supposedly colored how he went into this movie and his performance. But honestly, I think Merle Oberon has that great blend of entitled princess that you see a little bit in this movie with the more wild, free-spiritedness that you see in the early parts of the film. And Laurence Olivier played some of the great anti-heroes of classic literature. His Heathcliff is just perfect, and there's no one like him. So I think the casting here is just amazing.
Yeah, we see in his Shakespearean roles that he's great at playing a complex male character. How does the Heathcliff in this film compare with the Heathcliff in the book?
Very different, especially as you get to the latter half of the novel. This only comprises the first 34 chapters of Bronte's text. And so as the second half unfolds, you get a whole secondary set of characters, a second generation, and there's a whole other love story that develops. And Heathcliff becomes very cruel and venal as he comes back a wealthy man. So he is a real hard character to love as the book unfolds, because he starts deliberately trying to treat another child as poorly as he was treated. He imprisons characters. He forces a marriage between characters at one point. So you gotta appreciate the love story element of this movie, because the Heathcliff in the book is really hard to root for at times.
Yeah, not a Hollywood hero. Well, Kristen Lopez, thank you so much for joining me on TCM tonight.
I'm excited.
Well, let's take a look at the film from 1939 with an adapted screenplay by Ben Hecht and Charles MacArthur. This is Wuthering Heights.